Good morning. Welcome to San Gabriel. I'm Rev Jami Yandle, and I have some announcements. As part of the 15th anniversary event, we will be taking a photo of everyone in attendance after the service next Sunday. We really hope that you can be here because it's the first time we've taken a picture of everybody in quite a while, so we need an updated website picture. We really hope you can be here, and if you are wanting to be part of the photo, so listen up to this part. We are required to ask your permission to use it on the website and in the messenger. There is a form at the welcome table you can sign today or next week giving your permission. If you prefer not to allow permission, you may opt out of being in the photograph. Molly Hornbuckle or Walt Holt can answer questions about it, and there are going to be hard copies that I should have printed, but they're in the back. So somebody else did that. If you didn't receive this, please check it out. It's the other announcements, and some highlights are we need people to bring things for our November 20th celebration of Thanksgiving. There is an art potluck after church today if people would like to hang around and help put up new artwork on the walls. And anybody who likes to sing, at the end of today's service, please grab something to eat and drink and gather around the piano, Bill Hornbuckle and Jackie Karish, to learn a new hymn that we'll be singing next week and part of the celebration. And obviously it's voting week. No need to remind you to vote, please. But if you haven't, this is your reminder. Please get out the vote. Let us now begin.
Good morning, and welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching at home, we are so glad that you are here. My name is Mary Abbey, and my pronouns are she and her. I am a retired middle school and high school science teacher and a member of San Gabriel since 2013. My main art is quilting, but I also like to dabble in watercolor when I find the time, and you'll see a sample of that once the art is hung on the wall. And one you may laugh at, but that's okay. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. If you would like to know more about us and learn about upcoming events, please go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. Please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, whatever your gender identity or immigration status, you are welcome here. Now let us greet this day in song. The text of our opening hymn, number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, is an adaptation of a poem that many attribute to Rumi, a 13th century Persian poet. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken your vow 100 times, come, come again, come. We will sing through One Time as Written, and then as a round, beginning with the left side of the room, led by Molly Hornbuckle, and the right side of the room by Bill Hornbuckle. Please rise and body your spirit. The music is in the gray hymnal, number 188, and the lyrics will be projected. That wasn't too bad. Let us now light our chalice, the symbol of our faith, with the words of our own Reverend Jami. We light this chalice as a symbol of our faith, for the promise of a new day, for the renewal of belonging, for the connection between and beyond all that is, all that was, and all that is yet to come. May our many sparks meet and merge in communion of heart and soul to greet this day.
Here is a little blessing for you for the poles and beyond. May our values call forth the energy to do the work of love, justice, and democracy. May our fear be enveloped in love larger than any hate. May we manifest our faith and actions this election week.
It is now time for our affirmation, which is an expression of our covenant with one another. Please read after me, and the words will be projected. The doctrine of this church is love.
We are here to love.
The quest of truth is its sacrament.
We are here to learn.
Service is its prayer.
We are here to care for others.
To dwell together in peace.
We are here to live in peace.
To seek knowledge and freedom.
We are here to honor our differences.
To serve humanity in fellowship.
We are all connected in spirit.
To the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine.
We are here to grow.
Thus we covenant with one another.
This we promise to do together.
And now it is time for our Wonder Box. I believe Karina is here to share it with us today.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, everybody at home. It's lovely to be with you today. And let's help each other figure out what's in this Wonder Box. Let's lean on each other, and I'd love to hear your guesses. What was that? Paperwork. What else? I heard some guesses, but I didn't hear exactly. A ballot. Not supposed to fold those. Let's see, what else? I'm sorry, I heard some people shout out, but I didn't quite catch what it was that you had said. So, yeah, let's see what's inside here. There are lots of little pieces of paperwork. So the paper was on a good guess, and some of them say yes. And there's others that say no. So what do we think this is all about? Choices, decision, tabulation, calculation, voting. Yeah. Our fifth principle relates how, as a faith, we uphold the right to conscience and a democratic principle of every person having a vote. And as the children learn it is, all people have a say. And so our story is from a book that I love that's called A Lamp in Every Corner, a Unitarian Universalist storybook. It's called Playing Fair. And it was a warm summer evening, not like today, where even after dinner you have a long time of sunlight to go outside and play, and before you have to go to bed, and the fireflies are coming out, and there are 3 children who are meeting up to play. What should we play? Tabitha, the oldest, she had bright, shiny braces and beads braided into her hair. Tag, said Alex, and Alex, who was the next oldest, wore his baseball hat always to the side and his t-shirt tucked in. Let's play hide and seek, said the youngest, Sheena. She had 3 braids in her long dark hair, 2 in the front and 1 in the back. Tag, hide and seek, tag, hide and seek. Stop, said Tabitha. Let's vote. So they looked at each other and said, okay, we can have secret ballots and everything. And so Tabitha runs and she gets a shoebox out, something like a wonder box. She puts a slit in the top and writes very carefully tag and hide and seek on the pieces of paper. And they put their ballots in, and then they take them out and count them. 2 to 1, tag wins. Okay, said Sheena. And they played tag until time for bed. The next night, Tabitha brought the shoebox out again, and they voted again. 2 to 1, tag wins. Okay, sighed Sheena. Tag won. The next night, and the next night, and the next night, again and again and again. It's not fair, said Sheena. But we vote on it, said Alex. And besides, they lived in a democratic country, and in a democracy, voting was the way to decide. It's still not fair, Sheena muttered, and so the next night, when tag won again, she decided not to play. Oh, come on, tag isn't fun with just 2 people, said Tabitha. Tag isn't fun at all, Sheena said darkly. I'm tired of playing tag, and I quit. Tabitha and Alex looked at each other. They looked at Sheena, who would not look at either of them. Then Alex said, well, maybe instead of voting all the time, we could take turns. Take turns? Sheena asked. Yeah, 2 nights playing tag because there's 2 of us, and then 1 night playing hide and seek because there's 1 of you. We could start tonight, said Tabitha. We could even play hide and seek for a couple of nights in a row because we haven't been playing it at all yet. How does that sound, Sheena? That sounds great. I'm going to hide. Me too, said Alex, which means that you're it, Tabitha. And so that summer evening after supper, and for many summer evenings to come, they had a glorious time as the fireflies appeared, and they played outside until their parents called them home. So yeah, voting, of course, is important, but in a covenantal community like ours, it also pays to be in relationship with each other and listen to each other's needs and figure out ways that we can support each other in those needs. All right, are we ready to move on? Thank you so much. I'll be in the back.
Often, as Unitarian Universalists, we are asked by others, what does Unitarian Universalism even mean? Who are your people? And what are you all up to with all of this acceptance and social justice action in your yellow t-shirts? Curiosity surrounds our communities as friends, family, and coworkers want to know, what do we believe as a people? And my favorite question, are you in a cult? For the record, the definition of a cult is a system of religious devotion directed toward a particular figure or object. So you can be assured, because of our diversity, our complexity, sometimes our inability to agree on things, we are decidedly not a cult. But I digress. So sometimes we are challenged in new members classes to create an elevator speech in an effort to explain to other people who we are and what we believe, so that when we are out and about in non-UU spaces, we have a quick explanation of what it means to be UU. The answers for who we are and what we believe vary, and often include words and values such as a beloved, diverse community of people coming together to create a more just and peaceful world we know is possible. And also, we believe in deeds, not creeds. There are many ways to respond to the question of what UUs believe. What is your definition? Take a few minutes to share with each other what you think. And if you're watching online, utilize the chat. We'll do this for 2 minutes. All right. Raise your hand if you can hear me. If you feel so moved, shout out some of the things that you discussed. Fellowship. Any other answers? Diversity.
Compassionate and capable congregation.
Compassionate and capable congregation. Fun.
Yes, when I ask, I tell people, this is the song that my Sunday school students and I sing the seven principles song, and let me know that.
The Seven Principles song, and that explains it. That's a perfect segue, because if you didn't already know, and if you're visiting with us, we do have 7 sources, or 7 principles and 6 sources, and we're contemplating an 8th principle being added. And as you all know, or I hope you know, the covenant is a living document. So we don't just have one thing, and this is what we believe for 3,000 years, and that makes us multidimensional, and it makes us complex, and it makes it kind of hard to explain. So you're all right. There's no wrong answer to this. And right now we might have been thinking a lot about the 5th principle, which is the right of consciousness and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. The folks at UU The Vote have all sorts of ways to be active in the election, as they also live out our 5th principle. And they're participating in a goal of 4 million contacts through the Good Trouble Congregation Program. It's off to the races, with 64 congregations participating across 34 states. Together, they have hosted 50 postcard and letter writing events, 32 phone and text banks, and 16 live rallies. Thanks to Michelle Augustine and Lou Sneed and others, our congregation was involved in this important initiative too. And there's a lot at stake in this election and a lot of work to do. Basic securities like Medicare and prescription costs, access to health care, and even loan relief from predatory lenders is all on the line. It feels like so much because it is. But together, we can change minds and hearts. Later in the service, we will hear a story about an event that took place in 1968, as well as a story about my own son that took place this year.
Let us sing together again. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 317, We Are Not Our Own. Music is in the gray hymnal, and the lyrics will be projected.
So here's the story, as promised. One day in Alabama in 1968, as farmers worked in their fields, a small airplane swooped into view. The farmers looked up wonderingly as papers flooded out of the airplane into the sky and came swirling all around of them. The papers were flyers about the upcoming elections, flyers with a picture of an eagle and the names of the candidates the pilot of the airplane liked the best. That pilot was John L. Cashin. He hoped those farmers would vote for a candidate of the National Democratic Party, a political party he founded to help African Americans run in Alabama's elections. He wanted the farmers and everyone else to know that these candidates, if elected, would use their positions in government to make life better and far more fair for the farmers, their families, and all of their neighbors. John Cashin was not only a pilot, he was a dentist too, and a husband and a father of 3 children. He himself had run for mayor in his town, Huntsville, Alabama. He did not win. Later in his life, he would run for governor of the state of Alabama. He didn't win that election either, but then again, he didn't really expect to win. In those days, in Alabama, African Americans had little chance of winning public office. Even though about 1/3 of Alabama's people were Black, the Alabama state government had no elected officials who were African American. Very few Black people ran for election due to the Jim Crow laws. So with so little chance to win, what did John L. Cashin run for mayor for, and then why for governor? Well, John was an activist who understood the power of public witness. And he had made a promise when he was 11 years old to do whatever he could to get Black people involved in the political process and to speak out against the injustices that kept them away. When John Cashin formed the National Democratic Party, he chose as its symbol an eagle. the well-known symbol of American freedom. With eagles printed all over their flyers and signs and posters, the National Democratic Party made sure even Black people who could not read were able to vote for justice-loving candidates, the ones with the eagles next to their names. Soon, African Americans in Alabama were running for sheriff, city councils, and judgeships, and the National Democratic Party helped to get many elected. Cashin did not have to do this witness alone. His family, his Unitarian Universalist congregation in Huntsville, Alabama, and many other UUs and friends joined them. They came to his rallies, they made speeches on his behalf for them, and helped him raise money to run for elections. Like John, they believed that to witness against the wrongs committed against African Americans was an important way to show their faith. Over time in Alabama, more African Americans voted. More African Americans ran for public office and won. And as more African Americans became part of the Democratic and Republican parties, John Cashin's National Democratic Party was less important for public witness, and it was dissolved. John Cashin died in 2011. Because of him, we can be a new generation witnessing for justice. Every time we speak up against a wrong or support people to speak up for themselves, we are part of John Cashin's legacy. He witnessed for the justice he wanted to see in his community and in our nation, in America, where everyone's vote is counted. And I see this commitment in my own son, Ian. I get to be a bonus parent to a boy whose bloodline includes that of his mother's DNA, she is Filipino, and that of his paternal lineage, which is Irish, just like my own. But Ian doesn't understand what all that means yet, not exactly. But because John Cashin worked so hard to eliminate racism in his day, and we are working on creating a more anti-racist paradigm everywhere we go, when Ian ran for student council representative of his 5th grade class, no one seemed to notice or care about his mixed race lineage. Many of you may not even know that he's also Filipino and have assumed that he's white. It doesn't mean that we're not done working, but it does mean that because of the heroic efforts of those days who came before us, the tides are shifting in big and small ways every day. If Ian winds up in a career in politics, I know that one of his commitments will be to make the world a better place for everyone, everywhere, because at age 10, he understands that we are all interconnected because of the things he learns here at St. Gabriel from Karina and others. And this is what it looks like to have our UU values out in the world. The values our children and youth learn here can make a big difference for changes for all of the future generations and us. I am proud of Ian and the work he does just by showing up and being his full self. And as a side note, his team won the Pflugerville championship for the whole city last night.
What sport?
Oh, baseball, that would be helpful, right? This kid had never even picked up a ball to play catch with and went all the way to the championships. So,
Wow.
yeah. The values our children have are precious. And I know that it may feel funny or weird to not have a lot of youth here. Rest assured, a lot of congregations are struggling with how to reach out to families. We're continuing to work with Karina to figure out how to be part of the community and have time with 2 part-time staff to be able to do all the things. We're on it. It's just the shift of values since COVID has made church attendance for families less and less. We're still brainstorming, coming up with ideas, but we do value it. And there's different ways for them to participate. Ian and Ayla have brought their artwork here today, so those will be on the walls as well. I am proud of us too. We are letting it go, bringing it into the present moment, creating a foundation to support the future, whether it's the one for which we are desperately hoping, the one that you desperately are fearing, or something in between, or even as you work and worry, may you breathe into these next few days, into these next few years, and beyond. offering more breath when you've got it to give, resting when you need to catch a breath again, giving others the support they need to do the same, trusting that this steady, cooperative, in and out rhythm is actively fueling the birth of a future in which we can all truly breathe free. Amen and blessed be.
We take an offering each week to sustain this space that we call home and to support the work of our fellowship. We're very grateful to John Walker for providing the offertory music today. The song Let It Be was written by Paul McCartney when the Beatles were starting to break up around 1968 and was inspired by a dream he had at this time about a conversation with his deceased mother who helped him feel that everything would be okay. His mother's name was Mary Patricia McCartney, and she died when Paul was only 14. This song has always had a lot of meaning for John. The offering will now be gratefully received, and we thank you.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. In my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Thanks again to John Walker for that, and to Mary Abby, and to Jackie, and to our tech team, and to all of you for being here today. It takes a lot of people to make this work. It takes a lot of effort. You have a lot of choices, so we're grateful that you share your time with us on Sunday mornings. And just to remind you of a few announcements, food for the potluck, music after the service, We need a little bit of help for the anniversary. Please see the horn buckles for that. And then afterwards, if you would like to stay to help to put up some of the artwork on the walls. And now for our chalice extinguishing. We close our sacred time together when we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the chalice inside of our hearts, which serves as a beacon of hope. Emboldened by its blaze, we are reminded that our strength as prophetic and powerful people is found when we come together at San Gabriel, which is in Georgetown to stay, no matter what may come our way.